everybody, it's Latina Alexandra, and I am back here with another video. And as you can tell, I have a different background here, and that is because I'm currently at one of my best friend's house here, John.
How you doing, everyone?
And he is here with his friend,
Young
over here. And these two are going to come up with a podcast type of channel, and as soon as it's up and running, I will definitely put the link down below in the description section. So basically, this is just a podcast. We're just going to talk about current events or whatever we just feel like talking about. And as you can see, we have this right here. Didn't you want to show them something before? Weren't you trying to point something out? Remember, you were like, "Oh, we need to point something out on this."
Well, if we wanted to point something out,
okay.
Like this is where the primates ate all the mushrooms out of the shit from the big animals and migrated through the savannas and created what we are right now, sitting here.
You really believe that?
And doing that, yeah, of course.
No, I'm not going to even get into that.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
Do you believe that, Young?
You gotta get more into it. Well, I didn't even hear what you said.
Well, I was talking about the
I thought you were gonna say fungi. I was waiting for fungi.
Fungi, that fantastic fungi, boy.
I was like,
all right, so we're in complete opposite areas of the world. I am not Russian or Asian, but above me, as you can see, is Russia and Asia. The Asian guy over here, I guess, is the real American here because of immigration, and she's nowhere near Puerto Rico and Cuba, which is being
that's
covered.
by Young's
yeah.
head there.
There it is, Puerto Rico! All right, so I got a question. We were talking earlier off camera. Korea? I think Korea is up here.
Yeah, right there, yeah. Okay. Right above you.
Right above you. No, don't do that. Jesus, this guy's really racist.
I can do it. You can't.
That's right. We've decided that that's how that works.
I can't make biking
we have
jokes,
to be careful, okay?
So, slavery going on in the world.
Oh gosh, damn!
Listen,
Can you give me some Vaseline before you stick it in?
You know how I do, man. You know how I do, bro. You know how I do. So, like I said, I want to talk about on camera.
Slavery?
Some slavery, some conspiracy theories.
From a white guy?
In the sense of, yeah, man, Anglo-Saxon system.
Not the best time.
You're right. I have nothing to say. I'm a piece of shit. I'll just be over here with the skeptic part.
This used to be the Confederate flag.
That's absolutely not true.
Fuck Bubba.
My daughter's black. Fuck Bubba.
You guys are terrible.
Bubba Gump. Bubba Gump shrimp, because they overprice everything. If they base it off the movie, it's not right. Anywho.
Did you hear about the reparations that they're planning on giving?
I heard about Kanye's ideas of reparations.
Well, there's
I didn't
actually
think it was
some
the craziest
place
thing.
that already agreed to do it.
So I have reparations for what? For like slavery?
For black people.
Black people, I think, should get reparations for stuff like Jim Crow, for not getting some of the stuff that they were supposed to get, and then the systematic part that's held them down. They should get something like a some kind of check or something. But I don't know how that goes. How do you?
Yeah.
They said that they're going to put it towards investments that are geared more towards their communities.
That's the best
And who's going to do
help
that?
them.
Who's?
Well, I guess
Is that like a stimulus package?
The state that they're planning on doing something.
But Trump did give something, and they said to talk to the local politicians. They're the ones that's supposed to distribute it, but people don't even know that the money's there.
Okay.
Yeah, so the politicians, the local people, you gotta figure all that stuff out, and then they distribute all that stuff.
Do you guys think that there's a definite war going on for our minds, for social media, and all that stuff, like China, Russia?
I feel bad for the younger generation, the youth. I think that all they've ever known is the internet. They don't know what it was like how we grew up, where we didn't have the internet constantly. We didn't have social media. We had kids playing outside. We were in nature more. We were, just enjoying our childhood, being kids. And I feel like these kids are starting to grow up way too quick. They're being put through some bullying because of this, and they're also suffering a lot in silence because
anxiety,
they could get
depression.
Yeah, they're not number one looked at or liked, and they feel like inferior, and it can cause a lot of complexes.
It's all about that like.
Yeah, so I feel they are
setting off chemicals.
There's no self-validation anymore.
Yeah, it's scary.
And if you don't get the likes, it's like you feel a certain way.
So what was the reasoning? Do you think that they would want us to be that way? Like, what is like to just like sit in your house and play a video game all day, and we'll pay you to get food, and then you don't come out of your house, you don't bother anybody, you don't
pretty much that's
talk about what they're doing the plants and shit, and then they kill you off with the food.
I think
and they don't have to deal with
I
you.
think it started innocently, but then I think it was corrupted.
Yeah, there's always
by people.
That's why a lot of people say communism is an ideal is not the worst thing in the world, but there's no way human beings can execute it correctly because of corruption. That'll always be there.
And we all want like fairness, but
you don't want to give up your fairness, your advantage.
No, not even that. We all want fairness, equality, but at the same time we still want to be ourselves. And that's where the socialism and stuff, you see the cancel culture, everybody has to think the same way.
Sickening.
If not, you're...
But what's going on to freedom of speech? Now, this is a problem that I'm having with this because, we are being censored on social media, and it's kind of like we have to follow this censorship, just like mainstream media. And what happened to broadcasting yourself on YouTube? You could speak freely. You could set it to an audience that's 18 and older, not affecting, children. Children shouldn't be clicking on the videos, if it's 18 and older. There's certain limitations put in place, I think, to protect you as an influencer or a YouTuber. And I feel that, some of the rights are being taken away, and I don't think that it's fair. And they just did it, because they decided.
There is also, I find a lot of times when you have a conversation with somebody that, if they're an angry person and you make a point about something, they could use words like stupid or that's an idiotic view or you're a fucking Trump-tard or a libetard. Mm-hmm. And when people start going down off in that contingent or that rampage, they don't have anything good to bring to the conversation. When you use the bigger, more hurtful words, I think the N-word it literally only means one thing. Almost every other hurtful word has a double meaning. A fag even is a cigarette in one part of the world.
Right.
But, N-I-G-G, that one means the same thing to everybody universally.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
universal.
So cut that word out of there. And there are words to cut out, but I think it's taken and mutated into its own form of, to where a faggot to me is a douchebag who you can't trust with money. It was a cigarette. You figure the British rock and roll stuff and the Beatles and all that stuff, they were coming over here saying fag. When did it come to
You just can't
gay?
say anything anymore.
White people are the ones doing this. White people or
no,
maybe
it's
the Chinese.
The liberals that are doing this.
But the liberals are the rich white people.
The liberals are the ones
people.
that are having a problem with people speaking their freedom of speech.
The freedom of speech thing is crazy, but then where do you draw the line? Do the Ku Klux Klan have a right to have?
But that's where the debate should be able to come in. We don't talk no more. It's just arguing. That's it.
You could be taken out just like Alex Jones was, just like David Icke.
He hurt a lot of people, Alex Jones.
Yeah, he did.
He hurt people with the Sandy was bad, Demonetizing him was, he couldn't control himself either. So he just had to be fucking just all the time, and so they took it away from him. I didn't like that, but I think he's an extreme example. It's I'm not fucking mad because an impressionable mind could go fucking nuts off of that. A 15-year-old kid, first thing they ever get, free time.
I feel bad for them.
And Alex Jones is what introduces you to the world. You're fucked.
Well, that's another thing too, is that.
And I like Alex Jones. I enjoy him. He's entertaining to me.
Going back to the social media stuff, it's kids should experience life, but when they experience it at 5-minute clips all the time, their attention span.
They're not.
These kids can't focus or nothing.
That's why when you see them on interviews, when they ask them simple, logical questions, they're like,
It's all emotional.
Yeah, it's emotional, angry answers, and it's just, you're for Trump. It's like, what?
It's crazy.
Yeah, and another thing, ripping down the statues, it's black people didn't ask for that. They asked for police reform to defund the police. Take some of the fucking. They don't need to be in heavy-duty armor.
Anarchists.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Communists,
they didn't say rip every statue down. They didn't say take Mount Rushmore down. Take Frederick Douglass down. They didn't ask for the Redskins. No, they didn't ask for all that. They're asking.
All this shit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
We are
And we all sound like, I guess, some complete right-wing people, I guess. I mean, I'm a very liberal thinking person. Like, I fucking don't want anybody to hurt all that stuff.
There has to be some logic in this shit.
There's it's becoming so out of control, and it's crazy to even conversate with people, because if I just go against that kind of liberal thinking in anything, automatically you're a fucking Trump supporter, and people are so angry about it. Like,
especially, I'm sorry.
It's scary.
Okay.
Especially like when we were younger, older generation, we knew they were older generation. You know what I'm saying? There's different point of views now.
Exactly.
They're canceling people from 20 years ago, which I understand the blackface.
They're canceling Frederick Douglass, bro. He helped Harry Tubman fucking
free the
slaves through the underground tunnels.
Somewhere
in Pennsylvania, motherfuckers ripped and vandalized the statue. He's an abolitionist. I guess he works with white people, so I don't fucking understand.
They're literally trying to rewrite history.
But again, I don't understand why. What
because
are you
they don't
trying
want
to
the
rewrite?
Constitution. They don't want all these things in place.
Freedom of speech.
They want total anarchy.
Second Amendment.
Don't you get it? They don't want any type of control, any type of system. Look what happened. Wasn't there a location already that they took over, but it was shut down shortly after? What was the name of it?
Chaz?
Yeah, Chaz or whatever. Like, there was like people that
were like anarchy, but they didn't show that on the news.
No, they wouldn't show that, but it was crazy.
I followed it very much, so
there was people getting killed.
They
all the time.
mocked it. They mocked it on Fox, and they didn't show it on CNN. That's what I.
No, but on Fox.
They mocked it on Fox. Tucker Carlson, all the jerk-offs were like, these guys are morons.
They had one of the fathers whose son died, right? And he was. I felt horrible.
That was that was towards the end of it. That's probably one of the things that really
nobody called them.
They couldn't get ambulance in or whatever.
No, right? But nobody even called. The governor didn't say I'm sorry. Nobody called him. Trump finally, I guess, later on did, but at that immediate time, he didn't even know the father didn't even know what the hell to do or what's going on. And on the broadcast, he just looks so
defeated.
But it's crazy. It's like he was still being positive, but yeah, heartbroken. He didn't even know. That's crazy.
So sad. And you know, there's a lot of killings going on lately too, like just vicious murders out of nowhere.
Little kids.
Lynchings, exactly. Like, what is going on
here?
And
the police force and government officials, all that saying it's not a lynching. 21-year-old black dude, healthy as fuck, community servant, fucking just hangs himself. Yeah.
In front of the police station?
In front of police stations and shit. Or not police stations. The one that I'm specifically talking about is somewhere around Pasadena, Florida. He was in a radius of, I want to say, City Hall and a library or something. Right in between that were within 2 blocks of each other. No camera footage. We can get you a ticket for running a red light through the camera, but we can't videotape somebody hanging himself at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know where City Hall's at. That's. And they laugh in your face. They murdered Jeffrey Epstein right in our fucking faces.
Yeah, that was another one that was just like,
and said,
it's obvious what happened there. You know.
And I was telling her earlier, I said, well, if they fell asleep and the cameras happen, then that happens all the time. Somebody commits suicide in jail, they were murdered. No reason to believe otherwise.
Yeah, I think at the hearing they were asking them, did that happen often or something? I forgot what they said, but they were asking that in the Senate hearing.
Were they? Yeah. Well, and the most high-profile fucking pedophile case we've ever had, you guys dropped the ball in 3 different ways. Like, does that usually happen? Is that a...
Speaking of the pedophile, you know, I remember back in the 80s when I was a little kid and we would get like milk cartons and there would always be like a little child that was like in the back.
Those were our hand rollers.
Yeah, it was like our hand roller.
Crazy.
And so thinking about that, that's been happening like
a lot
for years now. Like thousands of little kids disappearing. Where are they going? Number one. Who's taking them? Number 2, and for what? What's going on here? Never to hear of these kids again, right? So then you hear about all these things, like Epstein, his island. They have their own money. They have billions of dollars, millions, whatever. They can do whatever they want, and you know. And then you hear about underground tunnels where they can bring kids through, or they have the coyotes that they bring them from different borders and stuff. And it's
the
just
MS-13. They've been doing that shit. They've been big.
Child trafficking is just a big problem. Where they were even saying that you have to watch out, women with your kids, be careful when you're shopping. Make sure you don't see a white van or any suspicious vans around. You know,
and he's still using the white vans.
Yeah.
That was the stereotype since the 80s.
That's what I heard.
God damn.
And now there's this thing going around with Wayfair. Did you hear about that?
That's weird. The $10,000 cabinets.
There was like $10,000 cabinets with a certain name that kind of correlated to a child's disappearance. And
they would have the name. What it was. This is exactly what it was.
Yaritza was one of them, and the furniture was like $10,000.
It would be like a high-priced item that also on the same site had a low-priced regular item, like shower curtains, for instance.
Yeah.
This outrageous price, and there would be random names in there.
Right, already.
Kids, but also keep in mind that so many kids go missing a day that there's probably 10 Alexandras that get missing a day.
Yeah,
so they can name it. But then, here's where it got weird. In the description and everything, there's codes, like SRC dash this, that. There's the codes on all of those big ones that if you type that in a Google search, it takes you to a Russian website or whatever kind of website that has children. And basically that number is the child that it is, and you're ordering that. That's where the shit gets. That's where they're accusing Wayfair because of that coincidence. That's the only thing that ties it together. Everything else is just somebody just kind of goofing off, except for that you search this little barcode at the bottom of the, and they took all of them down too.
I know. I heard that something about they took. Oh my god.
So that's that's what's going on with that conspiracy, is specifically that. And I seen a picture of when they would type it in. They showed it, and it's little girls, little 7, 8-year-olds. Looking like they're posing for the swimsuit edition of seductive faces on, all that shit.
Well, in a sense, I'm kind of glad that people are now quarantining and they're being a little bit more careful, because in this day and age, we have to be really careful, especially if you have children.
So you're definitely for Trump, right? But you don't believe the coronavirus is a fraud?
Well, I don't think that the coronavirus is a fraud, because I know many people that are in medical field and they have patients. Well, I have to say, I'm so happy that New Jersey's numbers are not going up like they were months back. Now it's Florida and Texas. They're getting those numbers.
We're getting close to the election. We're getting close to a possible second stimulus check.
How do you feel about that?
I heard Trump want to give a $4,000.
I heard he wants to give more,
but America check. That's what I want to see.
But they don't want to, because they feel that might keep people in a state of not wanting to go back to work.
Yeah, they already cultivated that.
They cultivated that, and that's where the world was going anyway, with artificial intelligence, with McDonald's soon. Within 2 years, is not going to need more than 1 or 2 people in there. One to load the machine and one to be the manager of the person.
They already got touch screens in some of them. So
already.
Come in and
now the touch screen, so they're eliminating and you thought Mexicans were going to take your jobs. The robots are going to take your jobs. Now, that being said, you're going to have to either kill off the population, or you're going to have to pay the population to sit home and play video games, and then people that make virtual reality, the Matrix kind of thing, is going to be the money makers, and they're going to have to give some of that money back to us to sit there and consume your product.
Oh yeah, those stocks are going up, by the way. If you guys like stocks, those video gaming stocks, man,
they've been going up for
years.
They're
going up, man. Especially now with COVID and everything.
And sanitizer and all that.
So is there anything else you guys want to say? I mean, we've been going now for
the Uyghurs.
Quite some. Oh, you want to bring it
up?
Yeah,
we'll finish it off on the Uyghurs, Young, if you want to take it in. Take control of that one.
It was like a whole bunch of Muslims in China getting rounded up like Nazi Germany. Hair's being shaved off for weaves, organ harvesting for other Muslims,
making clothing. When they're not fucking, when their hair's fucking growing back, they're fucking making.
What is that? Electrical torture to try to make them assimilate.
And so they're called. Is that their ethnicity? That's what they are, right? That's their nationality or whatever?
Yeah, it's just like those people within that area that the land belongs to China now.
So I was reading, the number could be off, but I think China has 26 different regions in it. That breaks down.
That's a lot, yeah.
It is a lot. I think it's 26. I was reading it like a night or two ago. And that's one of them. And so they're trying to basically, because they say that they're the natives of China, actually. That's their thing. And so they're trying to, the Chinese government completely disagrees that they're not the indigenous people.
The Tibetan people too.
Ooh,
they slowly made their land smaller and smaller. They're building roadways with India.
Meanwhile, we're worried about Nick Cannon fucking.
Oh my gosh.
In jibber jabber talking shit. Now, how come? And here's another thing too. And I'll ask you about the Trump. Everybody gets canceled except Trump with this grabbing the pussy shit. Like, how was he able to push through that though?
He was having his boy talk. Why do you
But
talk
you
when
don't
you're
think
talking
that the
with
Nick
your
Cannon
voice?
thing was boy talk?
How
You
do
know
you
what I
talk
mean?
when you? And besides, he was being recorded, and he didn't even know. Somebody was secretly recording.
I
him.
know, but still, it's stupid. It is ridiculous.
And they try to bring him down at every shot, but they can't. Why? Because the man has God by his side. You know that? That's another thing they're trying to get rid of. Is our freedom of having that right of saying that we believe in God, and we have that as our right as Americans.
I second.
So it was nice meeting you guys all. Check out Alexandra's channel. She's amazing. The awesomest, this young lady. I'm John, man. We're gonna fucking get up with you soon enough.
So next time, you guys, thanks for watching. Bye. Hit that like button and subscribe.
And subscribe and comment
Down below.
below.